Welcome back to A Plus Parents, everyone. And with me today, get ready. Like if you've got a busy schedule and you think that it's a little hard to manage everything, wait till you hear about our guest today. Her name is Elle Robertson. She just turned 15. Happy birthday to Elle. She lives in California, and she is part of a group of students that are part of a charter school that while they're part of a charter school, they actually do all their programs and courses from home. So she's a homeschooler hybrid kind of thing. So she's a homeschooler that's still registered through a public charter school in California. And let's see, there's so many different animals that she works with, but I know her main passion is horses. And I'm going to have her tell you about everything else. But she also told me that she is into she works with turkeys and then has something called turkey processing and even does classes on that. So I have no idea what that is, but she's going to tell us, which will be really, really cool. She has one sibling who's 12, is a little bit younger than her. She's been doing our math courses for the past year. She's been a homeschool student going on year number 5, and she's going to be a 10th grader this year in California as a homeschool student through Mission Vista Academy. So super cool. And let's see. Well, one of the things, that Elle told me was, because her schedule is really, really busy in dealing with all the animals that she takes care of and all the different things that she's into, having a flexible schedule actually makes a difference for her. And that's one of the things that our classes provided for her. So let's see. Elle, did I leave anything out about who you are and what you're up to? We'll get into kind of the specifics, but how'd we do? Did I skip anything about you?
No, you didn't skip anything at all.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So I know we're going to let's talk a little bit about math first. Let's talk about that part because I know people are going to be more interested in all the things you do with animals, and so am I as well. But you did our math course. It was your first year doing an Algebra 1 course. So, using it for this first year, tell us a little bit about your experience. What was it like doing an online math class and doing it at your own pace?
I really loved it. It was really fun. I loved all the videos, and I re- I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Now I know we do contests every month. So did you win any of our contests? Did you get any of those gift cards this year?
Yes, I did. Those contests were my favorite part.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and so we got more coming this year's too. So if you haven't used our programs before, every month and in February we do something every week, but we're going to do a contest, some kind of like a math puzzle, and it's just they're fun. It's like even it's funny because it's like we do like a small prize, like a $5 gift card, right? But the idea of just being in the contest and seeing how everybody does, I don't know, I think they're kind of fun. Plus they're fun for me because I have to make up all the problems. So that kind of goes along and makes it fun for me too. So makes it kind of cool. So when you're, what would you say? Because there's lots of math programs out there, right? And you've had a chance to do some other math programs. You were in public school for a while. So what is it that you would say if somebody said to you, so what's the big deal with Mr. D Math? What makes it unique?
What makes it unique? Well, all the videos, like what I said, it's easy to learn and easy to understand. I remember when I was in school, like in the school system, I didn't understand the questions that the teacher was asking me. And I felt like with Mr. D Math, it definitely was very understandable. And I really enjoyed math. And now math is one of my favorite subjects because of Mr. D Math.
Oh, that's so awesome to hear. That's good. That warms my heart. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. So we want to get into the things that you're into, right? So we're going to kind of work backwards, right? So I want to ask you about your goals for the future. Like, what is it that you see yourself doing, college, and what are you planning on studying? Tell us a bit about that because that's going to help us back up into all the stuff that you're already doing.
So, my plans in the future are I really want to get into vet school. And there's this vet school in Tennessee that I'm actually looking forward to going to. And I can study a whole bunch of equine science and have my degree in equine science so I can be a vet. And so, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So for everybody listening to go equine science, what's that? So what is equine science?
It's all about horses. So, it's all horse and everything that comes with horses. And so, yeah.
That's cool. So when you're a vet, like if you become a veterinarian, would you specialize in horses or would you or would you see all kinds of animals?
I would specialize in horses because horses are like my passion, and so um, I don't think I would study cats and dogs because it's just I like horses way more, and
That
so
I got you. Okay. And so how many horses do you have right now?
I have 3 right now.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Give us the names. Like tell us about your horses. How old are they? And what's your relationship with them?
So my first horse I've had since I was 8 years old, and her name is Electra. She's 26 years old. I can't ride her anymore because she's retired, but
Mm,
she's definitely a good, solid mare. And my other mare that I have, her name is Ruby. We just got her last year. She's an Arab, so she's definitely got a little spunk to her.
nice.
She's, I think, 16 years old. And then I have my other horse, which his name is Wrangler. He's my special horse of them all. I spend so much time with him. He is, I think, 16, 17 years old. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's amazing. So your horses are older than you. That's
yes,
pretty
they
amazing. So
are.
when like with a horse like Electra, that is a retired horse now, and being 20, it's amazing, 29 years old. What's the life expectancy for a horse? Like how old can they live? And what how much more time do you have with Electra?
I did I say 20? She's actually 26.
26 years old. Maybe I heard 29, but 26,
It's
still
all right.
26 years old. That's amazing, right? Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah, horses can live in their 30s, but we are thinking about maybe she lives for a couple more years because we never know with her, and so
Wow. But that's amazing that a horse can live to be over 30 years old. That's pretty cool. All right, now so now with the horses, do you do any kind of competitive riding with them, or is it more like training? Like what do you do with them?
So I like to attend local gymkhanas, which is kind of like a little rodeo, like a low key rodeo. And so I like to teach my horses about those little events. And in a gymkhana, there's keyhole, there's pole bending, and there's barrel racing. And my gelding wrangler, I'm teaching him to be a barrel horse. And so
Wow. All right. So is it kind of like now if you're there and you're like teaching them about this, do you guys like, how do you like bring the horse so the horse can kind of see what's going on? Or you guys are just in there and participating? How do you get them engaged in that?
Like it's a lot of training, I would say. Like my horse has been learning about the barrels and the barrel racing, like learning like how to turn and different things for a couple months now. And so he's pretty like on the pattern. And so once we enter the arena, he just takes off.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's really cool. Now, so I'm guessing at home you must be in a place where do you have a like a barrel racing track set up at home, or where do you guys train?
Not at all, actually. We have 5 acres here, so it's not a lot of property. But I have a small little arena that I just do a lot of like training with, and so that's it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Now you have lots of other animals on the property that you take care of. So tell us about all the different kinds of animals that you've got there that you interact with.
Let's see, there's over 50 animals.
Oh my
So
gosh. Okay.
I've got turkeys that we do processing with, so they get ready for Thanksgiving.
I
I
got
have
you. Okay.
I have chickens and bunnies and rabbits and dogs and cats and horses and a leopard gecko.
No, wait, and I think you told me before you have goats too, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. All right, but let's talk about turkeys because you teach a processing class. So, it's and obviously I like how you said that you're getting the turkeys ready for Thanksgiving, right? So, when you do a processing class, what is that like, like what are you teaching people and what do people get when they come to a class like that?
Well, they get hands-on experience of how a turkey is ready for Thanksgiving. We teach them how to basically process a turkey. And so it's actually a really fun process. Not
Not for
not
the turkey, right?
not for the turkey. Not for the turkey at all. But it's fun to teach people of how to, prepare yourself and I'm sorry, how to prepare the turkey for Thanksgiving.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, do you ever notice, because, I think sometimes, when you look at some of like the processing plants that are out there, right? That there's a way to, do you think it makes a difference if you interact with the animals in a way where you're very gentle and loving with them, that it makes a difference when they go through that processing kind of process?
It definitely is a difference because it's I don't really know how to explain it, but it's definitely a different feeling, with, a turkey that you've had since it was a baby and then you love and care for, and then, it gets processed. It's definitely a
Right.
different.
Yeah, I just, sometimes, so, we go to, like, we see the finished product and we go to the store, but we didn't get to know the turkey before it became store ready, right? But I always feel like it's like if the animal has the ability to be cared for and to have, just know that it was cared for, right? Know there was some love there, right? That it makes it a more healthy animal that for consumption, as for people that are consuming it, that it's got to have a different, feel. Now, I don't know. Some people will say, it doesn't matter, but I think it does. So you think that,
Does
you
not.
think that as well? Yeah. Oh, that's
Yes.
cool. Now you also do work with goats. And so now with the goats, not necessarily processing them, but you actually do milk and cheese. And tell us about that, what you do with the goats on site.
So we have 7 goats here on our property, and we milk our goats aren't in milk right now, but we are milking a neighbor's goat, and with that milk, we make cheese and lotion, and we also make this caramel called cajeta, which is delicious, and so
That's awesome. So does a goat has a time when they're in where you can, I just thought you can milk a goat year round, but that's not really true then. So there's times when they produce milk and times when they don't.
so you have to, in order to have a goat and milk, you have to, that goat has to have a baby. So
Gotcha. Okay. So and like the real world of people as well. So
yep.
that makes sense. Now you were telling me too that you are part of a group that I think you called it Backcountry Trails. What is
Backcountry horsemen.
Backcountry Horsemen? Tell us about that. What is that? What do you guys do there?
So in backcountry horsemen, we clear a lot of trails, like for trail riding and for trail riding. And so we're out there, clearing all the property and all the bushes. We also do packing clinics, which you learn how to pack a mule and a camel. And we go and we learn how to pack them and we teach other people how to pack them. And then what else do we do? There's also this other thing called leave no trace, which we teach people how to, recycle things properly and how to, if you're outside camping, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So yeah.
Wow, that's cool, and I love that. Leave no trace. It's just like the less we can leave a that carbon footprint, the better. So I'm really happy about that. Now you also said there's some other things that you're into as well. So what are some of the other things? Because obviously you got a pretty busy schedule, but what are some of the other activities and things that you participate in?
I'm part of a farm school out in California, which we learn hands-on experience about farming and what else do we do? About like homesteading and gardening
Oh, that's awesome.
and
So in farming, is it working with animals or crops or both?
both, actually. We learn all about animals like cows and horses and goats and chickens, like all of the animals that we have. And then we also learn about, how to farm, how to grow some, let's just say corn, for example, how to drive a tractor, how to change a tire. So,
Wow. All right, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so you know, you you are very passionate about this, right? Which is awesome. And you see your life moving forward as a veterinarian, which is going to keep you ingrained in being around animals. And how does one develop the passion for this. And so I guess another way to say that is, you've got mom, dad, your sister, there's, there you are. And how did farming become part of your lifestyle for your family?
Well, let's see. So about 8 years ago, we used to live in a tract home and we had a couple chickens. Well, my mom wanted more. So we decided let's move somewhere that we can have plenty of chickens. So after the chickens, we decided, ooh, let's get goats. Ooh, let's get turkeys. So it kind of just became, let's get different kind of animals. So
Wow. Okay, that's really fun. So your passion is horses. So what got you interested in horses, knowing that you had chickens and goats and turkeys and then now horses? So how did you get so interested in horses?
I've always loved horses. I started riding when I was like 8 and I just fell in love. I was like, I love this. And so it was just one of those things, just like, I don't know, it just developed over time of the passion that I have towards them.
Oh my God, that is so great. That's awesome. Now, given that you're a pretty busy young lady and you've got lots and lots of stuff going on, for young people that are listening right now and they're like, I want to do what you're doing, right? What advice do you have for people about how to manage it all? Like, how do you keep track of your schedule? And, obviously homeschooling is very, very useful and helpful because it allows you to be flexible in your day and how you can make priorities be the priorities and tend to them as you need to, especially emergencies come up with the animals and they're on particular schedules and you've got to adapt to their schedules. But what advice do you have for homeschoolers that they have some passion? Maybe it's not being around horses. It could be in music or art or dance or engineering or technology, whatever it is, right? But what advice would you give a young person that is interested in doing something that goes beyond their normal school day?
That's a hard question.
I know. That's why I asked.
I would say if you have a passion for something, like let's just say for guitar or music or animals, I would say, go for it, try to figure out something and learn about what it is and write your goals down. And yeah, that's very
That's
hard.
that's really great. And you're kind of saying that like write your goals down. Like it's like, well, of course that's what you would do. But you know how often people don't do that. They don't write things down and they don't really like say, okay, I'm really committed. This is what I'm going to have happen. So let's bring it back to school for a second, right? So let's say, because I think how you handle this, what I'm about to ask you, is probably how you handle just about everything, right? So let's say that you run into, and you're going to be starting geometry this year. You just finished algebra 1. You run into a difficult, problem in math, or you've got some kind of a situation in math where you're trying to figure it out, and you're not sure. Like it's just difficult, right? So how do you overcome that? What do you do?
The first thing I do is I take a deep breath. Okay, let's
That's really
get
good.
let's just go and figure it out. And I would take, each step by step and try to figure out the process of how to figure out the equation. And of course, your videos have helped so much through that, and especially the questions on the test too. And so that's what I do. It's just to take a deep breath.
No, I love that. If you take any issue or any situation we run into where it's difficult, right? I think the first thing to do is to stop and breathe and just take that deep breath and just get centered and really think about, okay, well, what do I have? So what things do I have that can help me work things out? Like you've got our math videos, right? But what other things could people have if they've got a difficult situation that they could come back and they could use the tools that they have to help them work through it? I think so many times we're faced with difficult situations, and instead of like taking that deep breath, which lets us kind of like relax for a minute and then start to think about what do I have that I can use to help me get through the situation, we tend to panic. And then we don't get through the situation and we either just stop or we quit or we avoid it or whatever that looks like. But I think taking a deep breath, believe it or not, sounds simple, but it's something that we have to train ourselves to do, to stop, take that deep breath and just relax and look and see what becomes possible and how we can take that on. So I love that. That's a great tip for people. Really, really awesome. So Elle, here's what I'd love to do if this is okay with you, because given that you're going to be starting 10th grade this year, you're still going to be doing all the work you're doing with the animals on the farm and all the different classes you're doing, all the different things that you're into with the farming community and learning more and more about it. And of course, we want to hear how's barrel racing going. So later on this year, let's get back together and do this again and catch up with you and see what's happening. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds great.
Well, that would be awesome. All right. Well, Elle, thank you so much for making your busy day work, because I know it took something for you to kind of organize your day to get here, and we're in different time zones and everything else. And really appreciate all the things that you're doing for animals and how you're caring for them, and for having to be just how to be an amazing homeschool student. So thank you for being what we say in the homeschool world is being a representative of what it's like to be homeschooled, because you really are making a difference and you're a great role model for that. So thanks for that.
Oh, thank you for that sweet message. I
Yeah.
also wanted to thank you too for all the work that you put in with us students. You know, you've made a lot of students just love math, and I love math now because thanks to you. So
Ah, well, you are so welcome. And that's why we do things. It's kind of, we want to make a difference in the world. So that's great. All right. Well, Elle, we're going to get back in touch again. We look forward to having you back so we can share more about what you're up to in your life. And for everybody, thanks for tuning in, A+ parents. See you next time. Bye, everyone.